Welcome to another verbaling class. Today's class is Describe What You See. We'll get started when students arrive in the class. I will be showing images of pictures, and students will describe what they see. They'll also describe what comes to mind when they see the image. Good morning, Raphael.
Good morning, Simon.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for asking. And you?
Well, a little tired.
Already?
I just woke up.
I was supposed to be tired. You just woke up.
I guess you write the rules on being tired.
I understand.
So how have you been this week?
It's been okay. I haven't done a lot of work this week. I just took a week off of my duties
Good for
because
you.
last 2 weeks has been tough for me. I have to travel and do a lot of stuff. Luckily, I tried to arrange some things I have to. Maybe next week the things will go back the same.
Well, we can only hope. I'm off this week. I'm off next week, and I'm off until September.
Oh my God. Good for you.
Yeah, so yesterday was the first day that I actually felt like I had a day off.
Sometimes it's rather strange because when you start being addicted with the routine. You start getting acquainted with and suddenly you stop doing what you are supposed to do, and it's very strange. You just, at least for me, I feel it takes at least 2 weeks to get familiarized with the with the situation of not being working. So
I know, I know. Good morning, Ellie.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm a little tired this morning, though.
All right.
But that's okay. Well, look, guys, you know what? I'll go ahead and get started since you guys are on time. I'm going to use a stopwatch here so that way I can ensure you guys have a fair amount of time. I'm going to give each of you guys a minute to describe an image, and then I'll extend that a little bit. So let me share out my screen first. Okay, so I'll start with Raphael. And what I want you to do, Raphael, based on the image that you see, is I want you to describe what comes to mind. What's the first thing you think of when you see this image?
my commuting every day. It's a very jam-packed road and a lot of cars. Maybe there's a holiday and we are traveling for another place to enjoy the weekend and their vacations. And but that's what I see in the picture. We see a wide road. It seems to be four roads. I don't see 5 lanes each in each one, and well, it's definitely a place I don't want to be in right now.
It's a very big road, isn't it?
Very big, very large, very wide road. Actually, São Paulo. It's near where I live. So
What makes you think it's Sao Paulo?
yeah, yeah. It's quite similar here where I live. So there's not too much difference.
I bet when they were building the highway, the guy said, "Don't worry, we'll make it 20 lanes. We'll never have any traffic jams."
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Raphael. All right, Ali, you're up next. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Uh, the second one seems to be uh, is it a sort of a store in a wood or a jungle? I mean,
Well,
is
that
it
would be the forest or the woods. I wouldn't call it a jungle.
uh-huh. You know, um, what I see is I'm not even sure if the image is loaded properly or not because I'm using my smartphone. I'm not using the laptop, but I can see that it has been overlaid on the previous image. Anyways, I can see it's kind of a caravan or a sort of a something that could be moved because
Hmm.
it has wheels, right?
Yes, that's correct.
And um, yeah.
Wow, that time went by really quickly. But that's okay.
Okay.
I'm going to give you guys more time in the second round. But that to me, well, you know what? I'm not going to tell you what it reminds me of. I'm actually going to go to Natasha and let her continue with the same image because I think there's still more of a story to tell here. Good morning, Natasha.
Okay, good morning, good day. I don't know what time is it you have. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to create a story, or I have to describe what I see.
Well, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay. Looking at this picture, I would like to say about small house which are on wheels. I mean that this house can be connected with a car and moving to different places in the world. So this house stay on the side some of something lake, I don't know, or maybe river, and around it grow a lot of trees grow. Looking through the windows of this house, we see table, shelves, and I don't know, it's something like a kitchen, or maybe
Hmm.
it's not a house, it's maybe a stall,
Thank you.
or yeah, or street cafe where
Thank
people
you,
uh,
Natasha.
it's
Okay.
all.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
sorry.
it's a patrol house, I guess, but yeah, it's
But
a very, very tiny house, a mobile
okay,
house.
thank you.
All
Mobile
right.
house. Okay, thank you.
Now I'm going to give each of you 2 minutes this time, and I'm going to start with Raphael. And Raphael, I can give you this image, but I'm not. I'm going to give you this image. Raphael, what comes to mind when you see this image?
It reminds me when in my childhood, when I went to visit my grandmother. She lives in a place like this, close to woods. It's a rural zone, and it's an inner city. When the air is cleaner and the people are more simple. They have a more simple way of living, and we used to take a bath. There was a river we used to take bath on it. We used to swim. Unfortunately, nowadays it's already polluted, and we are inappropriate for swimming activities. But before it was quite fun. I had a great time there. I had a great great experiences with my cousins and my friends. And well, since we're here where I live, we don't have any mountains. I would like to go skiing someday, perhaps in the future. It seems to be very interesting to play with snow and have these experiences. Something I never had in my life. So It's a very beautiful place. It awakes a lot of great thoughts when you look this picture. That's it.
All right, thank you very much. Where do you think it is?
I don't know, Switzerland.
You're wrong. It's Canada.
Oh yeah, Canada in the caption.
All right, thank you very much, Raphael.
Thank you.
Saiban, you've got 2 minutes. I'm going to give you a really interesting image to describe.
Okay.
What comes to mind when you see this image, Saiban?
Okay. First of all, hello, teacher.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Okay, teacher. Of course, this it's one of the a beautiful place in the all over the world, which is in Brazil. I'm not sure. It is the statue of Jesus in Brazil. So when I see this picture, I see it comes to my mind that I mean the vacation time. I wish if I visit this place, and also I mean beside the vacation, it comes to my mind the World War Cup, because the in recent, I mean the last World War Cup, uh, they in the advertisement, in the ads, they always have this statue or this city in their advertisement scenes. So it's and I think those idea comes to my mind. Also, this is every country has its own symbol, and to be recognized among all over. I mean, to be recognized from other countries. So. Of course, these statues, it remind me the symbol of the Brazil. Uh, I finished, teacher, or I still have a time?
Well, you've got 2 seconds left, so we could say you're finished.
Okay, that's it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Sorry, you do hear mail coming in on my phone, but unfortunately the stopwatch doesn't work if I have the ringer off. All right, look at this incredible image. Natasha, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, it's like a cartoon. I have never seen this cartoon before, but I suppose so. Looking at these animals and man who is stay between them, and even it's nearest to him. Maybe it is a dog stay behind him. So. Well, it's maybe something village because they stay on the lawn and behind them are bushes and trees and we have a lot of green falls. And it's maybe a valley because all these place is food hills in foothill. So I don't. I think that they are very happy and go to lucky because they are smiling and looking at. Maybe looking at us with kind and funny eyes. I don't know what I can say. It's a pretty good day because it's sunny and warmy, and I don't think that windy in this day for them. I think that it was a very funny story, and maybe this man. He is protect these animals from somebody I don't know. Or maybe he is mistress. I mean that he grow up with them, and now he go with them work for the because they need to have food.
Thank you.
So, okay,
Perfect. Yeah, whenever you hear that chime, that means your time is up.
okay.
Thank you. All right, Ellie, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Uh, yeah, well, it's a neighborhood from a city, and it's quite a congested and populated neighborhood. If I am seeing correctly, I think there is a bit of air pollution in the air, and well, definitely it's very hard to live in that kind of neighborhood because I mean you would have definitely narrow passages between all the buildings, narrow streets, and it would be very hard to find a parking um, area or a parking lot. So even getting public transportation could be hard as well. I don't know where exactly this place is. Um, could be somewhere in Lebanon, could be somewhere in um, uh, South America. I'm not sure about that. Um, yeah, this is what I can say. I can add that you look at the structures and the architecture. It's not very very well made. It's not that much. It's not that much engineered, well engineered. Because
Engineer.
I mean, in terms of security and earthquake, it has not been well planned. Yeah.
All right.
That's all.
Well, it's certainly very colorful. I like the colors, but that's just me. So yeah, it is very tightly cramped. Transportation might be very difficult in that setting. All right, thank you, Ellie. And back to Saiban. What image do we have for Saiban now? Well, I'm going to try
Okay.
something like this. So when you see these clocks here, what comes to mind?
Okay, teacher. And I have 2 minutes. Am I right, teacher?
Yes, you do. You do.
Okay. Okay. To be honest, this is very. I mean, this. This is a clock alarm, so it comes to my mind the self-discipline. We just, I mean, everybody need the self-discipline, and it's very hard to keep yourself. I mean, the self-discipline, and also it comes to my mind the morning. I mean, the morning when you wake up, when you need to wake up at early of the morning. I'm not sure if I say it correctly. I mean, at the morning. So and going to the job. I mean, wake up and going to the job. So that's why I mean I said self-discipline. Yeah, when I wake up. Yeah. Uh, yes, in the morning. Wake up in the morning, not at the morning. It's at the time at night. Okay. It comes to my mind. Waking up in the morning, and self-discipline, and okay, and beside this, it also remind me my I mean it comes to my mind. I mean, remind me my own clock. I have had the same clock when I was when I was a little boy. Let's say when I was in the elementary school. I
Thank
always
you.
Okay, thank you.
Excellent. All right. Oh, we lost Raphael. It's too bad. Well, Natasha, look what image I have for you here. What happened?
Okay. Well, wow, words. Epic words. Wow. I really don't know what is exactly. It's look like something sculpture, and it's imagine me. And in this case, I imagine something Star Wars. Oh yeah, it's maybe Star Wars.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Because this culture is created from such strange material, like material from our future. But maybe exactly this sculpture is created from metal, like aluminum, for example, because it is a silver metal, and it is like shimmering because wow, it's maybe even from glass, looking at the basic of this culture. Okay, looking at this, we can create I don't know, maybe somebody so somebody who is astronaut in our future starships who can reach the very distant, very strange stars, which maybe are in difficult universe. Yeah, maybe universe is it's the same word. Okay, but nowadays it's maybe is this culture is create in something instead astronaut. I don't know. It's like institution where people study stars and study sky things.
Thank you very much, Natasha.
Uh,
Well,
it's horrible.
no, just, you know what, when you're speaking, don't feel like you're in a race. Just take your time and relax. Trust me, you'll do better.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Well, Raphael, once again, I'm going to give you an image of beautiful pines and mountains and lakes and rivers and wonderful, wonderful places. So, Raphael, you have 2 minutes to describe what comes to mind when you see this image.
Uh, Peace, tranquility,
Mhm.
and um, a very nice place to rest and spend your time, uh, to awake, to 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 produce good thoughts, to our mind, and maybe to write a book or to to get inspired to do something profitable, to do something useful for your life, or just enjoy the nature and uh, just to feel the wind blows and to feel to hear the sound of the birds
Mhm.
or maybe what else uh, to 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 enjoy the life, enjoy the beauty of nature, and uh, maybe some people would find this boring, a boring place. At least for people here where I live, where we're not used to this kind of place. But uh, as I mentioned, it's a very nice place to rest and take a week off for the jungle of rocks we have here, of our life. That's it. Not, I have nothing else to say about it.
Would you like to go fishing there?
Actually, I don't know. I don't have to. I don't like fishing, but
Oh dear.
Maybe. I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you, Raphael. Ali, what comes to mind when you see this image? Obviously, this image is urban. It's a little
Yeah.
different from the rural image that Raphael was describing. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. Well, I see the skyline of the city. I mean, we can see all the outlines and towers, but the impression I get from this image is, well, living under the shadow of all these high towers, it's very different from living in countryside and natural places. You get all traffic here, you get air pollution here, you get different kinds of noise and sound pollution, if I'm not mistaken, if they call it sound pollution.
Noise
Uh,
pollution.
no, noise pollution. Okay. What? Uh, but you have the chance to go to pubs and bars and nightclubs. You have the chance to uh, you know, get whatever kind of mega mall or shopping mall is out there. But it's a very different. It's a very different atmosphere. It's a very different feeling. And it imposes a different kind of a feeling on individuals out there. What else can I say? I can say that I mean, in city life, downtowns are quite congested, and they usually have so much ceremonies during weekends, and you have different alleys, if I'm not mistaken, right? That
Well, I
they
don't know if you'd
are
call them alleys. It depends. Alleys are what you would have between buildings, or they're wide enough for a car to travel down, but they're not roads.
they're not roads exactly, but usually pedestrians and people go
Yes.
and yeah.
Alleys or alleyways both work.
Thank you.
Very welcome. All right, we come next to Saiban, and let's see, a slightly different image here. Saiban, can you describe what comes to mind when you see this urban landscape?
Oh, yes, of course, as you mentioned, it's urban, uh, no doubt, and it comes to my mind that let's say I don't know the distraction, not distraction. It's the crowd of a lot of population, of a lot of peoples, and a mass traffic. So also it comes to my mind. I think there's a building. It is not. It looks like it appears. I don't want to. I mean describe the picture, but also comes to my mind the castle from middle age. I mean middle age, or let's say because this. I mean when I just see this building that it is appear or show in the picture, it looks like the castle from middle age, and it looks like and also this building. I mean also this picture also remind me some cities that I have visited in my I mean that I have visited in the past. Also, it was really nice cities. It has the same design, the street and the building and everything was nice as much as this city. I mean, just like this city. Beside this, in addition, I also remind me some cars that I mean the cars in this city looks like exactly the car in my city here. I mean not
Thank you,
the
Saiban.
currently, but okay. Thank you, teacher.
All right. Raphael, are you ready for another landscape picture? I'll give you this one instead. So Raphael, what comes to mind when you see this very, very colorful, I guess, cityscape?
Okay. Well, I think I would like to be the guy who sold these paints because I will be rich. Those guys have said a lot of different colors, and it's a beautiful um, contrast of colors, and it looks like a rainbow, and I think is what they try to expose in this street. The contrast between colors, maybe representing the differences between genders and races, because actually I know where this picture was taken. It's Bahia State, and there's a lot of miscegenation there, a lot of different cultures mixed. So perhaps it's one of the reasons they try to represent this in a single street, in a place when we can see these structures. And what else?
Where do you think it is?
Sorry?
Where do you think it is?
Actually, this is called Pelourinho. It's in the Bahia state. Um, as I mentioned, there are a lot of different cultures there, and people there's a lot of traces of African culture. So, and we can look at the African culture. They like to mix different colors in their clothes and everything. So that's one of the reasons it's a colorful street.
Very nice. Thank you very much. And Ellie, what comes to mind when you see this? Very beautiful, and
Yeah,
I see this image. I see lots of blues.
yeah, that's right. Well, it's a beautiful lake and beautiful summits, and you can see the snow lines, and but the impression to me is, well, it reminds me of a camping trip I did once in Norway, and we spent a night we spent a night camping just beside a lake, and this picture just reminds me of that happy memory. But it also reminds me of all my hikings, because I do a lot of mountain hiking, and my eyes are so familiar with that kind of scenery. You get all summits and uh, uh, all the jungle, and you trek. You take the tracks and you take the path inside the jungle, and it's like hiking in the jungle is very different from hiking in the mountains. Uh, and well, yeah, it's very beautiful. Is it somewhere in Canada, or?
I believe it's in Banff National Park.
Uh-huh.
So yes, it's definitely in Canada.
Now, is it a wilderness, or is it a protected area, or is it just?
I'm pretty sure it's a protected area. This is a very,
Uh-huh.
very famous image.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. Are all the trees in the foreground are pines, or are there any special kind of trees?
Well, we would call them evergreens, meaning they're always green. They never lose
Always
their
green.
needles. But I wouldn't know if they were pine or spruce, or there's so many
Okay.
different types and species. But I
Uh-huh.
think to call them pines, most people wouldn't know if you were wrong or not. Even
All right.
myself, I'm not a tree expert.
Oh, okay, thanks a lot. Thank you.
All right. Well, it's funny, all the Brazilians are getting the non-Brazilian photos. Saiban, when you see this image, tell me what comes to mind. I know what comes to mind for me, and it certainly sounds like vacation.
Yes, teacher. Of course, it's a vocation, uh, and especially uh, in one of the many beaches in Brazil, because looks like the, can I say sandal or shoe, not shoes, a sandal?
Sandals.
I don't, sandals. Okay, it looks like a sandal. It has a flag, a Brazil flag. Both sandals. If you combine it, yeah, flip flops. Okay, flip flops. I mean, is the Brazilian flag, and also there's a. It looks like it's. Beside this, I don't want to just, but just to warm up for speak. So a nice drink. So okay, so it remind me a beach, and also actually remind me my plan. Coconut, yeah. So coconut. Um, it remind me my plan actually. I was going to go to Miami Beach actually when I was in United States, but my friend and I, we didn't to go there because of my friend deficiency. Uh, money deficiency. I mean, it doesn't. He say he is not ready, and he doesn't have. He didn't have enough money. He cannot afford for this trip or for this place, because he said it will cost me more than $1,000. Okay, thank you, teacher.
Wow. Yeah, that's a coconut, and you're having fresh coconut milk or water. Some people call it milk, some people call it water. But yeah, I want to be there, or any beach like that right now. It seems like a really nice thing. Although I gotta admit, outside today, it's currently 63 degrees, going up to a high of 81. The sky is blue, no clouds in sight. Seems like a beautiful summer day starting out. I love crisp mornings and when it warms up. All right, Raphael, what comes to mind when you see this image?
A meeting or a speech, or they are joined together. It seems to be a meeting of, I don't know, maybe teachers or students, and they are perhaps discussing some subject related. It seems to be a library, because you can see on the left, on the right side of the screen, you can see uh, some bookcase, and it's a very wide area. Perhaps it's a shopping center, or inside a shopping center, or some some. It's a huge area. It's a big area, and they are. It also reminds me when I had to give a speech, and I got frantic because I was really very uptight when I had to deal with speaking in front of a lot of people, and it's a very difficult situation, and uh, sometimes words just come doesn't come to our mind, the right words, and we need to practice a lot prior to this attempt. Uh, it requires a lot of experience and training, and that's it. I have nothing else to add.
Okay, that's fine. Um, you almost used up your time, though, so very good. Yeah, it can be a little nerve-wracking when you're speaking in front of other people, can't it?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
thank you very much. Well, Natasha, we've got a very tropical-looking image for you. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Oh, Wow, it's so beautiful for me. Really, it's breathtaking views because I so like hot weather. For me, it's like paradise. Well, looking at this man who is lying on the bed, I can say that I'm envious to him, but maybe so. I would like to be there and laying on the bed and looking at this sky, deep sky, looking at this warm ocean. I suppose that it's the ocean because there are a lot of green trees, a lot of stones and stones. And okay, on the back of this picture, we can see even not a very big, not very tall mountain, but maybe it is so far from this place. And in this case, why not? It may be definitely high mountain. Okay, looking at this shape, what is on water, I remain my sea trip, my journey from the USA to Bahamas, but it was on the really very huge and beautiful ship, and there was some swimming pool, a lot of really oh, there was a lot of fun too as well. Well, okay. In this place, I think that um, uh, it's not
Thank
a
you.
big okay.
All right, so I wouldn't call those stones. I would call those boulders. Those are pretty big.
Ah,
Uh,
okay,
if you're a geologist, you might even call them erratics, but no, we'll call them boulders.
okay, boulders. Thank you.
Okay. Ellie, it's a rather simple image here, but what comes to mind when you see this kind of image?
Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a laptop and a keyboard. Someone's typing on a keyboard and
Hmm.
typing on a board. Well, it reminds me of, well, we have a science, if I'm not mistaken, they call it ergonomy or ergonomic issues, and it studies the proper relationship and human relationship with different sorts of devices. And let's say if you want to work with a keyboard, how should a keyboard be designed in a way that it feels very comfortable to wrist of the individuals? So that's science. They call it ergonomy, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Ergonomic?
Ergonomics, yeah. And yeah, I think it's very important that it's very important because you get short-term issues, short-term health hazards, and long-term health problems if you don't work correctly with a keyboard. If you don't put your wrist correctly on a keyboard.
Hmm.
Short-term issues could be just a sore wrist. Long-term issues could be if I'm not mistaken, it's a kind of a syndrome. I think they call it carpal syndrome.
Carpal
My
tunnel.
father actually, carpal tunnel, yeah, that's carpal tunnel syndrome. My father has got it, but he's uh, like 70 something. But it's still dangerous. Ergonomic deals with that kind of problems and tries to provide solutions for that kind of problems. Yeah.
Thank you very much. All right, Saiban. What comes to mind when you see this image here? We can see a lot of dialogue going on, or people engaged with each other.
Okay. Okay. Looks like people they are engaging in the exhibition. So and I think this remind me the university's exhibition when they came when I get my scholarship. Not just me, all of the most of the students they wanted to complete their higher education, graduate or post graduate, or let's say PhD. They draw many. I mean, draw many university to came to Kurdistan region and offer their services for students here because it was a really untapped market for this university. They wanted to draw this. They wanted their student to be in their university and spending their money there. I mean, in their university. So. It remind me the Erbil University. They came to Erbil University. They stay in their Rutana hotel for 3 days, and they offer everything. And every university has its own representative. Um, and I personally get my acceptance letter and a conditional acceptance letter from one of this university, Marriott University. My university currently, I meet them in our bill, the Kurdistan region government, in the Kurdistan region capital. Okay, thank you,
Thank
teacher.
you. Thank you very much, Saipan. Raphael, finally you get an image that has some sort of element of fun to it. What comes to mind when you see this image, Raphael? Does it remind you of going to the theater or going out?
Yeah, maybe because luckily today's Friday, so it's a very interesting tip to do. Maybe yeah, it reminds me that I need to plan my weekend, and I haven't planned it yet. I have to. Uh, it's maybe going to the theater or movies, and or maybe just to go to the shopping center to look the news. What is trending in the clothing and everything. Uh, maybe inviting someone on a date or a friend or a girl you know, and uh, um, uh, or maybe just to have fun. Go to the
When's the last time you
bar.
went out?
Oh, it was a long time ago. Honestly, lately I've just all my nights off, my free time, I used to take a rest, because I'm working a lot, and perhaps something I really should consider this weekend. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll go to the beach or to somewhere else Sunday.
Maybe
Uh,
get yourself a nice fresh beer like Muck Bavaria and just enjoy, sip it, and relax.
yes, maybe it's something I really should consider. Uh, mm, yes, I really need to think about it. I have no plans so far.
All right, thank you very much. And Natasha, this is your image here. What comes to mind when you see this image?
Okay, I don't know. Looking at this picture, I can imagine our street musicians with use our folklore musical instruments. I think that. This man in the same um, uh, he maybe make a concert I don't think that it's something concert hall because there are we haven't because we haven't see around him big or colorful lights or other musicians, but I don't know, maybe he is staying something on street and create his music, and at the same time he can I'm sorry, he can sing because we have special devices on the top of his instrument. So he is really very likely because he is smiling. So maybe he is the happiest man, happiest artist, at the same moment in this moment as well. So I have never played on any musical instruments, and I remember my feeling about it when I was a child. I really wanted to play on the piano, and I made themselves very famous and very professional in this field, and maybe it was the dream of this man as well.
All right, thank you very much. And our last image that I have here, Ali, what comes to mind when you see this image?
Yeah. Well, we can see at least two violinists, and they're taking the violin, the instrument itself. What it comes to mind? Well, I think the instrument itself. I like the instrument itself. I think it's a member of the string instruments. We have different kind of instruments like percussions. We have wind instruments and the string instruments, and the violin is part of that family, like guitar, like cello. I have heard, I don't know that much about music. I can't even read notes. That's my problem. But I have heard that it's very difficult to learn violin, and it takes a lot of time for someone to get the hand of it, or to become master in playing the instrument. If I'm not mistaken, if a group of violinists play, the sound that you get is called a string. Because I've heard that they say it's a string playing. It's a group of violinists. Yeah.
Actually, the term string or strings refers to any instrument that uses a string to create a sound.
True, yeah.
Okay.
It's a family name for all the sorts of...
Yeah. Yes, and it's a section of the orchestra as well.
Oh yeah, that's a section of the orchestra. Okay, yeah. So it includes all sorts of instruments, and that section is called strings. Okay, thank you. And yeah, I think it's the sound that you get from the string part of the orchestra is very, very haunting. Thanks a lot.
Oh, you're very welcome. Oh no, you get to see me again. Let me turn the light on. All right. So that's all my images for today. I do have some more, but I thought we could just kind of end with just having a little bit of chit-chat. So thank you guys for coming this afternoon. I don't think anybody's here from the evening. Now, I am back this afternoon with another class. If you haven't signed up for it, though, it's already full. And I think I have another one at 5 o'clock my afternoon time, which is, I think, 2 hours from that class. Now, I haven't booked a lot of classes for next week because I booked so many this week. I want to take a bit of a break and take it easy. I am on vacation this month, so I'm picking classes occasionally, but not picking an awful lot of classes. So the best thing to do is to keep an eye open for when they do show up. I think I may even have a class this weekend. Now, the classes I'm doing right now, I seem to be I am focusing on describe what you see, a lot of conversation-based classes. Although what I'm thinking of doing for September is creating a package, a memory course package. So it really helps with your memory. Believe it or not, it actually it can improve your memory significantly. I did this class a couple of years ago on another site, and if you search the internet, you can find the classes. So it's not anything surprising, but it's using peg and associative memory techniques along with rote, and it uses phonetic sounds to help create those pegs so you don't forget. It's if you think of it this way, imagine yourself in an incident, something that is traumatic or something that is surprising. You're not going to forget that. You know, the birth of a brother or sister, a car accident, winning a lottery. You won't forget those till the day you die. And the techniques that I will teach you help you remember things that way. So that's something I'm planning for September. But for the rest of summer, my focus is primarily on conversation classes. So I think those are really where you guys need help. And I might bring back some pronunciation classes too, because in these conversation classes, I'm not focusing on grammar or pronunciation. It's really about you guys just getting used to speaking, getting practice speaking, and speaking in front of others. It's also about using pauses and not speaking too fast, because when you go fast, your pronunciation suffers. It's just the nature of conversation. The faster you go, the less control you have. One thing I might recommend for some of you guys, if you do feel you're having trouble with your pronunciation, practice tongue twisters. There's a ton of them on the internet. These are exercises for your mouth. Obviously, English tongue twisters focus on sounds that are specific for English. Do you guys have any questions for me?
No, thank you so much, teacher.
Okay.
Where you can find this material you mentioned?
I would go to Google or Bing or DuckDuckGo, and I would type English tongue twisters.
No, not about tongue twisters. It's the subject you mentioned before about the memorization techniques and.
Oh, well, I can't tell you that because it took me a while to put it together myself. I did this 20 years ago, and it's pulling together so many different types of material. But if you Google my name with memory classes, you'll find it. I can't tell you exactly because it was when I was teaching with another company, but it's very, very effective.
Okay.
You won't forget it. Like you guys could give me a list of 20 different items over a minute or two, and I won't forget them. You can then call them out in any order, and I'll tell you what order they are in. I can tell you the item before and after it. So it's a very, very useful way of building lists in your mind of items that are unrelated, and I can teach you how to relate them so you don't forget them, even weeks later, months later. Cool. So I'm working on that for September. I've got a lesson plan together. I just got to figure out how to go about it. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to have some breakfast, and then we're got a busy day. Did somebody else have one last question?
No.
Just the material to say we cannot get it. We are gonna get it in September, teacher.
That's my goal. I might offer it before then, but I'll be setting it up. I've got to look over how Verbling's got things set up at the package. I don't know if it's just for private lessons or if it's for group classes. But I'm glad to see that they're doing that because I've had requests to teach it, but I can't because you need the same people to show up each class, or it doesn't work.
Okay.
Right. So each class builds on the previous class, and if you miss a class, then you're kind of lost.
And what would be the name of the classes? I mean, just.
I haven't decided that yet.
Okay, that's it, teacher. Thanks.
All right. Well, I need to get going. Somebody's trying to get my attention here. Guys, thank you very much, and
Thanks a
hopefully I'll
lot.
see you
Thank
this
you very
afternoon.
much.